where's Clyde when we need him.
Yeah, right. I had to show the woman. I was like, "Oh, you'll like this one."
Felt like a very American thing to lead the show in with, since I worked, so I didn't have time to make a special Independence Day intro.
Getting arrested for victimless crimes. Yep, sounds very American.
Is that technically victimless, though?
I mean, depends on your persuasion.
Depends on how you define a victim.
Yeah, it depends on how you define sentient life, I guess. I don't know. Hates. I don't know. Those are all sticky topics these days.
How would PETA feel about that? Because odds are that guy's not eating the sheep, in at least not in that way.
Yeah,
so, like,
by taking very good care of them.
I'm sure. He's showing them a lot of love. And
we were chatting about old South Parks before the show, and that just makes me think of the PETA episode of South Park where they have their PETA camp, and some of them are like intermarrying and like breeding with the animals. When we say we love the animals, Stan, we really love the animals. Oh man, and so good. So I mean, if you go by South Park, PETA loves it.
Corey, that is the best way to start your Independence Day. It should be just chock full of awkward boners.
Raising a flag to something. I don't know.
Speaking of...
Go ahead.
No, go. I was about to segue into the first show topic. Where go?
Oh, no, I was just saying, that video, I remember the first time I saw it being like, it's kind of hot. And then it's like, oh, it really took a turn.
And I think that's the for anybody who hasn't seen that video, like that's got to be the initial reaction is it's like, oh, I like what's going on here. Oh no, I don't like what's going on here at all. Never mind.
Got that Fed mustache.
We played your sheep fucking video.
Dude, I can't. It's the best video ever. I swear. The music, I love the music. And the other thing.
Yeah, I assumed it was a music video or something. For the first 45 seconds.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah.
It's one of Clyde's goofy music
It
videos.
could absolutely be sold as a music video, right up to that one point, and then then you see where the direction is going.
That's the best way. Like, it sucks you in, you buy into it, and just hits you in the face like a cold wet fish.
Well, let's see. We were talking about. I don't remember how I was going to segue into this topic. It's Independence Day, so let's celebrate with some offensive words.
Knees, taking knees. Everybody taking knees.
Dax sent us this one from Orlando. The Orlando, what was it? City Council or City of Orlando had made a social media post
or some shit. Yeah, whoever does the fireworks.
A lot of people probably don't want to celebrate our nation right now, and we can't blame them. When there is so much division, hate, and unrest, why on earth would you want to have a party and celebrate any of it? And then they got pushback from not necessarily everybody, but a overwhelming majority of people pushed back and basically said, you can drop the commie bullshit. We want to celebrate our Independence Day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think they go on to say, like, but we already bought the fireworks, so fuck it. Goes through it.
In all seriousness, your heart, 4th of July fireworks are amazing, especially when you're standing in 90-degree heat, 100% humidity, next to 100,000 of your closest friends. At that moment, something takes over, and we all become united in an inexplicable bond. Yes, America is in strife right now, but you know what? We already bought the fireworks.
Yeah, the Fraternal Order Police came out like immediately with some big statement, like, fuck them, we're patriots.
We do not share the same views as the city of Orlando, and we find their comments inflammatory and poor taste.
It's interesting though, right? Because like, did we did we see this stuff like when Trump was in office? Was there like, oh, we're not celebrating the 4th of July because you people suck kind of stuff, and I just missed it, or is that not a thing?
I don't think it was. I mean, I have to wonder what the particular strife and hate that they're talking about is here. Is there something particular? I mean, is it can't breathe the Supreme Court thing? Like, I don't know. That doesn't fall into those categories. So I'm just kind of confused if there's anything particular they're talking about, or if they just have some fucking, manic depressive working their social media, and they're just, they're in their down month.
Well, I think too, part of it goes back to this, like you can't take the pulse of a community based on social media, based on the mainstream media, right? You turn on the news. That's not actual people. These are not real people. This is not how they feel. This is like, what they want us to think we should feel like, or this is the squeaky wheel being heard. And then when you kowtow to the squeaky wheel, you look like a giant retard. So, I don't know.
That has been proving itself out pretty sufficiently over the last several years, especially where where a lot of election stuff and just like public polling and stuff like that, like a lot of government officials and stuff like that have based their ideas and some of what they've tried to do off of like all of the loudest voices on social media. And the loudest voices on social media are the retards. Like, they are the fringe, like they're the incredibly vocal minority. And then you have like the silent majority that once they come out with it and they try to actually do this stuff, then the silent majority, which tend to be the ones who actually show up to vote, they show up in droves and just like completely shut it down, or they're the ones who actually donate money to these kind of things, and so then all the funding dries up, and then you see it crash and burn. Like the whole go woke go broke saying is because of that very fact. Like that vocal minority, they're not the ones who show up to vote. They're not the ones who are putting money towards these organizations and these businesses and stuff. Like it's that silent majority are the ones who are actually driving things forward. And as soon as it starts to go in the opposite direction, then they don't screech about it. They just stop showing up, and then the whole thing goes away. No, Carlos, we're going to go 6 hours. This is going to be an Independence Day special. We're going to shoot off fireworks at the end of it and everything. We're burning Dag's house down.
I already shot mine off. Kind of how.
It's funny, Corey's comment there a little bit ago about trying to get his neighbor's stupid wiener kids to be quiet because he's hungover. I was out this morning with my dog, and he's loud. It's like 6:30. We're used to it, but I'm almost like, oh man, I bet everyone was up late last night, because of fireworks. Now here I am being an asshole. Oh well.
That was Friday night. Saturday. No, that was Saturday night.
Let's see. We got anything
What
else?
else you got in your grab bag?
What?
So what else you got in your grab bag of articles you don't share?
I'm actually using all of Dag's stuff today.
Yeah, there's 2 dumps. There's my yesterday dump and Justin's today dump. Content dump. Oh, this one's kind of sad.
This one is super sad.
Yeah, I guess it kind of.
Since we were talking about PETA earlier, and
This is not the first time something like this has happened, right?
No, I think this actually happened a couple years ago, and I think she just finally got convicted.
No, I mean like I remember back in God, I want to say like high school or something. Like this was a discussion that somebody was like giving their kids like almond milk or something, and it was like I don't know if they actually ended up dying, but it was they were super malnourished and underweight,
There's those, and there's like there's been some cases with like the Christian like science people or whatever they are who
Yeah.
they're like, no, we're not going to take Timmy in for an appendectomy. We're just going to pray it away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's been some of those, and it's always like I don't know from like what am I saying, like a legal or a right standpoint or whatever. It's like I don't know, at what age is the kid old enough to be like fuck you and walk out the door? At what age are you not responsible for him anymore? Something like this, obviously, where you're not giving your infant, proper food.
I mean, my mom would try to make us eat quiche, and whenever she did that, I would just disappear and go to my grandmother's house, and she would fry me a pork chop. So,
not a quiche lover, huh?
And I'm not a big fan of eggs. I want meat
Really?
with my meals.
I'm hit or miss with eggs. I enjoy eggs sometimes, but never like a whole ton of eggs. She makes a pretty good quiche that I can actually eat.
You get enough chickens running around, that's all you eat, man. It's just like nonstop.
I sell the
Yeah, I
eggs.
feel guilty. Use it to buy meat.
That's right. I sell the eggs, and then I go buy steak. So,
Capitalism.
so yeah, this is pretty. Well,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
yes,
I guess
there
she was
have been a
given
number of these. Like you said, it's on different. I mean, there have been varying degrees of this malnourishment and stuff like that because these parents have tried to enforce some sort of a crazy diet that's just clearly not healthy for their kids out of some, I don't know, whatever. What do you like? What would you even call that? Is it a?
What did she go? Was it vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was giving them like raw fucking veggies and shit.
Yeah, like no protein or anything, just like straight vegetables. Like obviously,
her other kids were
a growing
malnourished.
child needs food.
Yeah.
Well, and
Is
you've seen the
murder the
ones
right word
where
here?
like where these vegan pet owners have tried to force their
Or
pets to be vegan. Yeah, cat, especially doing that to a cat. Like cats are carnivores. They're not built for eating vegetables. Like I mean, like dogs are omnivorous to a large extent. They still need primarily meat in their diet, but like cats are almost exclusively carnivorous. And to try to force a cat to be vegan, like you're just gonna kill your cat. Like,
Or you're gonna wake up and the cat's gonna be eating your face. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great? It's like one of those like morbidly obese like vegan people like wakes up with their cat eating their face because they tried to make it eat like broccoli the night before.
are there morbidly obese vegan people? I don't
I'm
think
sure.
so.
I'm sure.
Maybe
I
they're
don't think
trying to
that's-
be unmorbidly obese, and they're like, if I'm doing it, kitty, you're doing it with me.
So, typically, the vegans seem to go in
Yeah,
the
all
other
right, look at
direction.
that
Like,
now.
look,
That's one side of it, but I think like there's so much processed like vegan food and vegetarian food that like I don't know, man. I feel like any of that processed crap is just gonna make you plump right up. And, I'm sure there's some fatties out there.
what
I'll
was
find one.
what was the Major League Baseball player several years ago? He was a big, hefty dude. Prince Fielder, I think is who it was. His girlfriend like got him to go vegan, and they did like a Sports Illustrated article about it, and like had a picture of him on the cover, looking all like big and strong, and talking about his vegan diet. But then when you look at it and you go into his vegan diet, it was like his girlfriend had him eating a lot of protein, or had him eating a lot of tofu and vegan shit. But the team's trainers and medical staff also had him on like really, really high amounts of protein, and there was a lot of meat supplement going on with his diet.
That's what I was gonna say.
It
Like,
was like being touted as how healthy and everything he was on his vegan diet. And it's like, he's got like professional trainers who are making sure that vegan diet isn't fucking him up, and they're just like dumping protein
if you're
in.
still taking steroids on a vegan diet, you're not going to see the results that you or I would get if we were on a vegan diet. You know?
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go vegan on steroids and see what happens.
As long as they're not horse steroids or they don't come from an animal, you know, I think they're okay. I think it's still technically vegan.
Yeah, it can't be doing the horse based, right?
I want to cut in here and just go back to egg talk for a second with Carlos there. I'm down with the huevos rancheros. It is in fact even not huevos rancheros per se, just like putting salsa on my eggs. I do get a lot more eggs down. Yeah. So
I put ketchup on them. I mean, that's the same thing, right?
On crummy eggs, I'll put
ketchup and a little pepper, and I mean that's the same thing as that Mexican eggs, right?
It's not bad.
See,
I used to do that when I worked at the bowling alley, and I'd eat their eggs.
I do enjoy a good omelet with like crumpled up bacon and some ham, lots of Colby Jack cheese, and some sauteed onions and peppers. But I mean, by the time I'm done with it, it's like the eggs are. It's like all of that stuff with some eggs mixed in. It's not really eating an omelet so much. But
I've been into the breakfast skillets lately. Same thing. All together. You know, some potatoes on the bottom and a biscuit and gravy on top of all that stuff you just said. Yes. Yes.
I think I've got some potatoes actually. I think I know what I'm doing after we get done with this.
So when you shred your potatoes, here's a question: when you shred your potatoes, how fine do you shred them? Do you go with like the main part of your, you know? There's there's two. I have a square shredder thing, right? And there's some big thick threads. I think they call them like shoestring. And then you can go. There's a fine shred, and I think it's probably for like cheese and stuff. But I'll do that, and it comes out as this like clump of just like ooey goo.
No, you got to do the biggest one. It's the
shoestringer.
You got to make sure you use the right kind of potato.
Try it with a little one. It takes a lot longer to cook, but let me tell you, man, it is the crispiest. Like it is delicious. You make it with a shoestring, and it just all kind of falls apart. Man, it ain't worth it. You guys are doing it wrong. I'm telling you.
Normally, I dice them, and I cut them up into like small cubes.
Leftover baked potatoes from the night before, where they're already cooked like that. Yeah. That's the easy way.
Holy crap, we're early as hell.
That means I get 20 minutes.
I left my backpack out.
Yeah, you know, we don't like with Carlos was saying, like, we don't have like a fast food place that'll like do that kind of stuff like near me or anywhere I know of, unfortunately. Like when I watch like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, you know, and they've got like the restaurants that serve that kind of shit. I'm so jealous.
You don't have a like a Waffle House or a Huddle House or something?
Yeah, I've got a Waffle House, but I don't think they sell huevos rancheros, and definitely not at $3.99.
What is?
See, that's something that fast food could do, and it not be gross, because it's like there's nothing to fuck up, you know, just eggs and some fucking shit in there. So, like, you know, I'd be down for like fast food breakfast that way.
I'm sure Waffle House will make you huevos rancheros.
What are they? What is that? Just salsa on your eggs?
Basically. I mean, on the
here's Carlos's recipe. Huevos rancheros is the go-to meal for Mexicans for breakfast. 2 eggs with salsa, potatoes, beans, bacon, 2 tortillas.
I mean, that's beautiful. That's a perfect breakfast.
If you get that for $4, I mean, you're doing real well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of food. What kind of beans? Black beans or red beans? Or white beans? You use the cannelli beans?
It's probably black beans, I would imagine, but I don't know.
What you got? You got a Los Polos Hermanos? I don't know what kind of places you guys got over there.
What'd you say?
No, like, see, like our sit down like breakfast places. They're more like biscuits and gravy and fried pork chops and that kind of thing.
Oh man, a good
There are
country
a lot of
fried
Mexican
steak
restaurants and
with
stuff,
some,
but yeah, I don't know about their breakfasts or if they're open for breakfast.
a good country fried steak with some biscuits and gravy and hash browns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know that I've ever had country fried steak.
What kind of? I guess you are a Yankee. You just live in the South. And
Yeah. I mean, I probably had it. I just don't know what it is. I've never had the balls to ask anybody. And then because this is the response I get, like, hey, what's wrong with you? I'm like, well, I asked the question, and this is the response, so I'm not going to ask again,
It's like breaded and fried, right?
Yeah. You tenderize it. It's basically like fried chicken, but it's a.
Is it like a cube steak?
Yes, that's the preferable.
Okay.
like you can take just like a regular little steak and
I've never
Why do you
tenderize
eat cube steak? Why? Is cube steak cheaper than like real steak?
Yeah, it's shitty steak, and the cubing, and they stab it with a bunch of knives, so it tenderizes it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just take like a small steak and tenderize the hell out of it, it works just as well. And I mean that's the way I do it whenever I make them. But yeah.
What's the difference between cube steak and like ground beef? If you grind it like real thick.
Cube steak isn't ground.
Right, a cube steak isn't ground. It's
It looks ground, man. It looks ground. I look at it in the package. It just looks like somebody took some ground meat and flattened it out and said, "Here, it's a steak."
It's a machine with a bunch of little knives. It's like rollers, and it's got knives, and they run it through the machine, and so it stabs it like 100 times all over the place. So it cuts it up and tenderizes it.
Sounds
it's almost ground. I guess technically, it's just still being held together by a thread.
Right.
That sounds like I need one of those it's like a pocket wood chipper that you bring around. It's not as conspicuous as an actual real wood chipper that you carry behind your truck. You just bring like a cube staker around in the trunk of your car, and no one has to know.
Cube one part of them. You don't even gotta
put it in. Put it in all the way.
You don't even got to run the whole body through. It's just the important part. Boom, you're done, buddy. Get out of here. Have a good day. Go put some ice on that. We've got these pork cube steaks from our pig that a butcher made, like cube pork steaks, and I've been wanting to do like country fried breakfast steaks with them, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I want to try that.
Well, I tell you what,
instead of beef steaks.
Here in a couple weeks, I've got like 9 days off in a row. We'll do a live show from Dag's house, and you can cook me breakfast.
All right. You can critique and ridicule my culinary skills every step of the way. It'd be great.
I didn't critique your culinary skills when y'all were camping. I came and hung out with you that weekend. So.
Oh, you didn't. Did we cook anything? Did we cook anything that day? I don't remember.
Corn and beans on the little gas grill and hot dogs.
Oh yeah, hot dogs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if I would have fucked up hot dogs, you'd have me.
It can happen. It can happen. When I was a kid, I went out with like the Boy Scouts, and they put the hot dogs on like pine boughs, like to get a stick to roast it over the fire. They just like grabbed a piece of pine, shoved it on there. Yeah, it tasted.
We've got palmetto bushes down here, which is perfect for that. You take the stem of the palmetto bush.
Yeah, you use that for. It's not too thick. Yeah, you really got to like.
Skinnier one, or you take your knife and you shim it down to what you need. You sort of whittle the end down.
Yep.
Yeah, it works well.
I got the fed.
What would be the great replacement meal? I guess. Well, Mexicans aren't the. Mexicans aren't the ones who are doing the replacing anymore, though. It's Muslims are the ones who are being brought in for the brown wave replacement. So
I thought you were
going to
say Puerto Ricans. I think it's going to be
mofongo. I might have to dip out here, guys.
All right.
I might be back.
Well, we'll be here. He leaves so abruptly.
What do you think? Are you into mofongo, Justin?
What is mofongo?
It's like plantain, it's like a form like plantain and like rice thing.
Oh,
tried it. That was
is that
very
where they
grilled.
take like so they take like a plantain and then you like roll it out and you like fry it and then, or am I thinking of something different?
No, that's something else. Those are actually pretty good. What are those called? I don't remember.
Put like
But
put like frosting or something in the middle of it and.
yeah, the fried pork that they gave me with the mofongo was pretty good. I'm just not into that much plantain for a meal.
Well,
I
this
used
has
to,
turned into a food show.
Oh yeah, fuck. All right, what else we got? We got topics. I was about to go off about Venezuelan food.
I did have topics. We were getting ready to roll into.
So to answer your question, falafel. Let's move on.
Oh, because we were talking about the parents abusing their kids in varying ways.
Oh yeah, I was wondering, do we consider that murder? It said murder. Is that murder or is that some sort of like manslaughter or something? Can she plead insanity there? I mean, I have to assume there's something wrong with that woman. And she wasn't like maliciously trying to kill her kid. She sounds like she was trying to. I don't fucking know, man.
I don't know.
If she
like,
thought she was doing the right thing to save her kid? Like, is that the same thing?
But then at the same time, like she's deliberately malnourishing the kid. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess if it's
there
obvious
have to
they're
be
being malnourished.
There have to be signs that like the kid is not doing well before it goes from not eating to dead. So like at some point you cross the line into like deliberate what's the word I'm looking for? Neglect. Like it hits the point where it can't be viewed in any other way than deliberately neglecting your child. And at that point I think you do step over from manslaughter to murder.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
that's
that's
always sucks, and I'm not trying to sound sympathetic to like, but it's like, but it is like most people who like are murderers, like they were like brought up very abusively, or they have something mentally wrong with them, you know. And of course, they shouldn't be allowed to be like hang out in society, right? But like, you know, whatever the solution beyond that be, it just sucks, man. It's just when shit like that, it's just sad all around. You know, it's sad that kid fucking died. It's sad this woman has to go to fucking prison forever. It's sad I have to fucking pay for it. You know, it just fucking sucks.
Well, speaking of abusing children, so the FDA approved.
I was reading this before. That's interesting, man.
The FDA approved vaccines for children as young as 6 months. So they've been on this push for 5 to 11 for a while, and now they've approved all the way to 6 months and up. And as anybody who actually pays attention to the real numbers could have told you, COVID is not something that's deadly for children, especially not small children. And the CDC has been caught using false data to recommend kids COVID vaccines. So and this is one of those things that we've talked about before, like with the mentioning the horse paste and all of that. Like whenever ivermectin was getting that big blowback against it, and they were saying that, like, I can't remember where it was. I'm pretty sure it was Mississippi. They had like this exponential increase in calls to poison control because of people using horse paste, except that it, like, over that 16-month time frame that they were tracking it, it went from 1 call to 3 calls. So it's like, okay, you throw out this huge, like, 150% increase, but it was literally just 2 people. And so like a lot of this, what they go through and look at on the data is like they're categorizing COVID as being this like top 5 cause of death for children. But then when you actually dig into it and you look at the actual numbers, it's like, okay, that's because the top 3 causes account for 99%, and then you have COVID that accounts for like negligible numbers, and then when you dig into those numbers, what you find out is that of those numbers that they used, an even smaller percentage of that, I think it was like overstated by 25%, even that number. So because they didn't take into account the differentiation between, or it was any child who died and there was any mention of COVID anywhere on their medical record, then it got counted. It's like, what? So yeah, this is creating some
COVID chicanery.
And naturally, the CDC and the FDA are both being real shady about it and not wanting to answer questions. And supposedly the lab that this study came from is going to go back and redo the study. But I mean, the CDC and the FDA have already doubled down on the vaccine thing. Like they're not going to take it back. But that can of worms is already open. So
yeah, you can't really it's like the one thing like government isn't allowed to do is admit it was wrong at some point, you know.
How falsified were they? Like, is this like a statistical error? Is this one of those things that the left is going to say like, oh no, this is what they meant, or is this like an actual like, hey, this is wrong?
It was a large scale misrepresentation. It wasn't necessarily that they lied about the numbers so much as they misrepresented the numbers to make it seem worse than what it was.
Okay. So it's I mean, it's something you could potentially argue, I guess. The vax crowd would, argue it.
Yeah. So like what I was talking about with Dag was
Sorry.
they're listing that COVID was a top 4, top 5 cause of death for kids in these different age brackets. But then when you actually looked at like the top 3 causes, they accounted for like 99% of all the deaths, and COVID accounted for a negligible number, but statistically it still was, top 5, even though it was number 5 and it was negligible numbers. Like just because everything past 5 was virtually 0. So like, they didn't necessarily.
Yeah. It was like you got third place.
Wrong. I mean, they were technically right, but it was,
It's like third place out of like 2 teams,
Yeah. Basically.
No, never mind. Sometimes I say dumb shit to see if anybody actually is listening to me.
Was that a jab at libertarians?
I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
We got to do 5. Now we got to do 5 hours on whether or not Carlos is a fed.
I know y'all though. I mean, let's be real.
Aren't we all feds?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. Am I the only one who's not? Oh my god. It's like realizing
Mark
everything's a simulation and you're the only real person.
Mark is definitely a fed. That's why we keep him around, just to see what the current thing is going to be. Oh, speaking of, did y'all see?
Your enemy's closer.
Damn it! I didn't pull up the video. Patriot Fed or Fed Pride or whatever they marched somewhere again. Like for the largest white supremacist terrorist organization in the country, they're pretty disappointing. Like all they do is show up and walk around for a while and then they leave.
Get arrested.
I really want to see.
What did they even do? What did they even do to get arrested? Like I didn't see a video of them actually doing anything.
They didn't do anything. I think they had stuff that was like potentially like they were going to start a riot, basically. Like they didn't do anything. I think it was kind of like thought crime type stuff, but they had, things along with it that would maybe accompany a riot if you were going to start one. Plus they had like 30 guys in a U-Haul, so I feel like that's kind of
traffic ticket.
Yeah, like if they wanted to pin something on you, I'm pretty sure they could.
Well, the U-Haul was not licensed for that many people, so
there weren't enough seatbelts for everybody.
Is that not the most fed thing ever, though? Like, you don't even do anything, and they come arrest you, like, just to make a spectacle of it?
No, and like, Oh, who ratted him out? Somebody ratted him out. It was totally like, this is. I mean, I don't know how you can say they're not like a dog and pony show for the feds. Like, I don't know how they just. It's like the FBI in training kids, I guess. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Well, Patriot Front, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just feds in training. They're just learning the ropes.
Oh, they had to arrest them so that they could see how it feels to be on that side of it, so that when they do start working, they know how to go about properly arresting people. That's what it was. This is like live action training.
Live action. Oops, wrong button.
Turn yourself on.
Yeah, all the articles about them are from weeks ago. I think nobody's even written like a follow up or anything after
The size of this tree, man.
that. Yeah, so that just makes it so extra like fetty. All right, we put on the show. Now it can just go away. Oh, here's
Clyde's trying to show us his.
okay. But anyway,
I'm trying to show you my monster tree. It's huge, dude. This thing is massive. I bet you. Yeah, I bet you these branches have seen some things back in their day.
Speaking of which, white supremacist group Patriot Front attacks black man while marching through Boston.
They offered to tie his shoe for him.
Did they actually attack him? Is there video of like him being attacked?
There's here. I'll send you a link to the thing.
They threw bananas and eggs at him like Larry Elder, and
Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like wondering what constitutes an attack. Not like I'm simping for Patriot Front or anything. I'm just curious.
So did they attack this guy, or did this guy like run up on them?
Is this like a Juicy Smollett thing?
Like he went and tried to smash one of them, and they accidentally knocked him down, and so now it's
careful bending your knees like crazy.
Yeah, it
like
seems
that.
like this guy who was apparently attacked is the only witness. So they knocked him down.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess there's a photo of it though.
Yeah, I mean, there's the.
But yeah, maybe he ran at them. Who knows? Do I sound like I'm just like defending them?
I know, but I mean, all the videos that I saw, like, there was no evidence of them doing anything other than just walking around, like, as they let's see. A black man is attacked by members of the white supremacist group. Oh, there it is. As they terrorized the streets of Boston on July 2nd. I mean, that's exactly what I would call it. They were definitely terrorizing the streets of Boston as they marched in a nice 3-wide line and held their flags and chanted life, liberty, victory.
It said they had fascist flags, but I just see United States flags.
There might have been.
I mean, to me, that's hilarious. So I don't know I don't know if there's some other ones. Because I'm like, yeah, fascist flags, right? And
I don't see anything with the group. Let's see. According to, all right.
So I'm looking at other articles.
The man told the police that he was walking on the street when he was knocked to the ground by a group of men wearing masks and carrying shields. The man said several others joined in when he tried to swing his arms to protect himself.
Did they say anything about MAGA country?
They chanted life, liberty, victory. So
I guess that's close enough. I don't know.
Not
Girls,
very,
get away
not
from the
very
door.
catchy. Like if you're gonna, you gotta this is MAGA country has a lot better ring to it. Like life, liberty,
Well,
victory requires too much effort.
to be fair, I mean, he probably hasn't had the same training that Juicy has. I mean,
Acting wise,
but just the script and just being involved in all that. You know how to write a catchy slogan. These guys are just coming out of Quantico. It's they don't know how to do this stuff.
well, speaking of violence against people, did y'all happen to see? Did y'all happen to see the Australian ambassador for
Oh
women?
God, is that a woman?
It's a something.
Thank the panelists for their insights. As we confront the climate crisis, women and girls' human rights must be at the centre of our collective efforts. Climate change and its consequences can exacerbate the risk of sexual and gender-based violence. This risk is most acute for women and girls facing multiple and intersecting forms of discrimination and inequality, including Indigenous women and girls. Australia is committed to achieving gender equality and eliminating sexual and gender-based violence, including during emergencies. Australia is providing funding to train disaster responders to identify and support women and girls experiencing family and domestic violence during and after natural disasters. We stand with Pacific women and girls in responding to the climate crisis, including by providing negotiator training to support women delegates from Pacific Island countries to represent their countries in international climate change meetings. Women and girls in all their diversity must be able to live their lives free of violence. Realising women's and girls' human rights is an important part of securing the future of our planet and a better future for us all.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I didn't see. It's hard for me to see, but I thought that was Justin doing like a voiceover at first with some like crappy Australian accent.
I'm not that good at voiceovers. Sorry. So apparently, climate change is resulting in more violence against women.
Yeah, you get angry at them. It's hot. You get angry, trying to make you dinner and just making the house hotter, and you just end up beating them.
Well, it's probably their fault because of all the hairspray that they use.
Yeah.
And in a really big disaster, it's like that internal misogyny video. Women have to do things to stay alive.
Yeah, well, so some skills, it's all they
Dudes have
possess.
that option too.
I guess. No, I'm sure it's not as lucrative. Although maybe it could be because it's probably a little more taboo, So you get a little more secretive about it, It's more important for you to keep your mouth shut when you're diddling the governor's son,
Or open, am I right? Oh, so let's just say that let's say that what she's saying, let's say it's true or whatever. Okay, let's say she has a point. Did she present one solution or idea or anything in that whole thing that she said, or was it just we need to protect women and girls from climate change, especially intersections?
But I don't know. There is no solution. That's it, though. There is none. Right? There isn't one. There's no solution. This is just stupid. The only thing that's going to happen is the world's going to burn. We're all going to drown, and it's over. Doesn't matter, where you intersect anything. We're screwed. That's it. I think that's what they're telling us when they put all this stuff out there and they don't have a solution. Either that, or they're just telling us that they're full of shit. Huh?
I like your energy today.
Yeah.
And they talked about all right, so this is going to sound like super racist probably, but they talked about how it's a lot
What's
higher.
new?
Yeah. So they talked about how it's a lot higher for the indigenous population. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I have looked at it before because I'm one of those psychopaths that I like stats. So
You've seen
violence
the
against
documents,
women
guys.
tends to run a lot higher in those indigenous populations anyway. So, like, are you really going to blame it on climate change when that's just kind of the way it is?
So maybe this is a long thought. Okay, a lot of these indigenous tribes have been, impoverished by government programs. They're shoved onto these little like spaces and reservations. And I mean, anytime you put people in a hard situation, right? There's going to be a tendency, I think, towards more violence, just frustration, and sometimes it comes out with a little bit of fisticuffs. Maybe that's what this climate change thing is going to be. It's just like there's less land, and so they're going to put more or less in cities. With like all this great reset shit, we're all going to be poor as hell, and it's just like, the victims are going to be the weaker ones, and that's your intersectional, ladyboys and stuff. I don't know. My 2 cents.
Did anybody else see what Trey's talking about? The Illian Omar thing with her getting like booed off
She got like
stage for
booed.
2 minutes.
She got like booed off stage.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What happened?
It was at like some concert, and I guess they brought her up. They're like, "This is your congresswoman," and yeah, I guess I don't know, some Somali event. It said it was like 10,000 Somalians or something in the thing I read. And I don't know. She was booed.
They booed her off stage. She's not very popular.
She was up there for like 2 minutes being like, all right. And all the people like doing the concert were like trying to deal with it and like smooth the crowd over and be like, just shut up for a minute and let her do her fucking speech that they're probably paying them to do or whatever. I don't know.
I love it whenever that happens. Like whenever a politician or somebody like gets up on stage and they're going to try to deliver some speech, and then the entire crowd like turns against them and boos them or whatever. It's happened to several of the.
Not enough. That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely not enough. But it's happened to like Liz Cheney and some of the other like the very progressive Republicans over the last couple years. And they'll go to speak in front of their like constituents, and then they just get booed off the stage. It's beautiful.
What's up with little Liz Cheney there? Is she getting primaried?
Yes.
And when is that primary? Do we know? So that's just one I want to watch because it'd be really funny to see her lose.
It's coming up soon. I'm not sure. I know I know early voting is going on now, so it'll probably go down here in the next.
Why is there early voting? When did that become a thing? Has that always been a thing and just nobody ever utilized it until this last go around? Or like, what? Why?
It's
Gotta
always
beat the
been
October
a thing.
surprise, man.
It's always been a thing. It's to allow for like vacation. If you're going to be out of the country, if you're going to be out of the state, if you're having.
If you care that much, then get like a mail-in ballot or something. No.
I mean, it's easier to just go to your polling place and vote. Like most courthouses and stuff like that. Like that, I did it several times when I was in. So, like in 2004, I traveled to Missouri to campaign for George W. Bush. So I was going to be gone. I was going to be not a proud moment, but I was going to be gone from that Friday all the way through the following Thursday of the week of the election. So I went and voted early before I went traveling.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's like there needs to be like a cutoff, like there's 24 hours, and if whatever's not tabulated after the first, 24 hours that they close, it's just, we can't count them. It's done,
Just
Busy
cut it all
people
off.
with jobs. Fuck yeah.
You have to show up on the day of and vote in person. And if you can't do all these things, then fuck you. You didn't deserve to vote anyway. I'm all
First come, first serve. You know,
I'm
We
if
all
all
you
have
got
phones that
one
we
too
can't
late,
think on. You don't get to vote.
I'm all for gatekeeping voting as much as possible. Like,
I've always said that. Like, there's two things. I think if you take any sort of government money, whether it's a paycheck or subsidies of whatever kind or food stamps, like you don't get to vote. Done. You're conflict of interest. You don't get to vote. I think like really, if you had to answer like 5 questions about who you're voting for, like what they stand for, or one bill they signed or something, like you would lose half the people. Like everybody would just
80%.
I think it was Spooner who talked about like the secret ballots are like extra stupid. Like, no, if you're voting for somebody, you got to like no, like that's like you can't be secret about it. Like you got to say, okay, that's who you voted for. That's your fucking responsibility. You absolve all responsibility with like secret ballots and shit too. And there's the whole thing that then anybody can.
That would be.
The ballots even matter when it's secret because whoever counts them.
Well, like when you leave, it's got to be you got to get like a henna tattoo on your forehead of like who you voted for. It'll wash away in time, but you got to own that for a little bit at least.
Yeah, enough so all your friends and family know who you voted for. So down the road you can be held liable for your decisions.
Well, speaking of voting, there's been a lot of primaries going on. There have been a lot of upsets in primaries that are going on. Defeated House Democrat from Oregon warns about the rise of the party's socialist wing. So this guy was a Biden-supported candidate, incumbent, and more of a moderate, like run-of-the-mill type of a Democrat. And he got upset by some like super progressive Democratic socialist, and so you're starting to see the schism in the Democratic Party of the socialists versus the more traditional moderates, which is kind of fun.
Dude, you guys probably didn't see it. There was a thread someone had put together about AOC and where she came from. Did either of you guys see that?
No.
So I don't know. I'll see if I can find it again. Probably not, but like her, I can't remember if her mother spent some time in the Niger there, like right before they fell, and like went to school for political theory and like something else. They're just totally like straight up CIA stuff. Like this is if you go into the CIA, these are like what your undergraduate degrees usually are in, and like just the whole idea that like she's been involved in stuff, and like the way she came to run for that position was like it's kind of weird. Like her brother just came to her magically one day with this letter and said, "Yeah, go figure, go look here," and it's like it all lines up with her stuff, and kind of looking at it and suggesting that she's like a plant meant to disrupt the Democratic Party because she is so extreme, and the way that she didn't endorse Bernie, you would think that she would endorse Bernie like full out, just based on things, and she didn't, and it was kind of interesting. I'm like, wow, I never really thought of AOC like that, but made me smile. Let's see if I can find it.
It would not surprise me if AOC is a Fed plant.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Sure would.
And to Trey's, I do hope Masters wins in Arizona. Who's the have y'all seen the governor candidate in Arizona? She's
governor of Canada. What'd you say?
Governor candidate for Arizona.
Oh, candidate.
Carrie something or other. She is very spicy.
No.
You mean like her policies or like?
Yeah, the way she has been just attacking the left in the media and like all of her interviews and stuff. Like she goes hard. She goes really hard. It's funny and highly entertaining.
The best kind, man.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have politics, they may as well be entertaining.
Yeah, more clown show stuff.
Mm-hmm. I really want more fist fights on the House floor.
That would be good. That would be
I remember
enjoyable.
back in the day when one guy would beat another guy to death with a cane. Politics.
The good old days.
Mm-hmm. They said
When-
duels. Oh my god!
Right, when politicians got pissed off at each other, instead of like tweeting about it, they went out and drew guns and shot each other. Like, it's the way it ought to be.
I mean, it's already basically pro wrestling. Let's just put a ring in there. Let's just make it full on pro wrestling.
Yes. Yes.
That'd be so dope.
That would be good. I would enjoy that. I might actually watch
Especially with
that.
all them being like 80. Yeah. You know the injuries are real when they're all 80.
I like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell just like throwing down. Like that would be a beautiful thing to witness. Be like,
That's
But
how
I
they should
can't.
decide
I love
legislation.
her.
Like, all right, you want to codify Roe versus Wade? Pick the 5 strongest out of your bunch who are in support of this bill, and then whoever's on the opposing side of it, they pick their 5, and y'all have a fist fight, and whoever's left standing wins, and then either it passes or it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Bare knuckle boxing.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
do.
I really
Gentlemen.
thought we don't have to talk about this, but I thought this was funny because it's fucking Salon, and Salon. Or the headline reads: "Defund the Democrats. Stop giving money to the party of surrender and inaction." Like, it is
Who are they suggesting you give your money to then?
me.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline and I thought it was fucking hilarious because
Probably
it's
Salon.
Salon suggesting to stop giving money to the Democrats. Like their own support base is turning on.
Yeah.
They're that terrible. There was another headline that said like 72% of Democrats think that Biden needs to retire, and like, I mean, it's the administration is being pretty wholeheartedly turned against.
I love that he comes out and says what he says about inflation, or he said we're at a time of war and turmoil and crisis, and like gas stations need to like lower their prices even if it means they take a loss. And like Jeff Bezos is like, dude, you're like retarded. You don't understand like economics at all. And it was just like, it's funny, man. It's just funny to see these like, billionaire types being like, no, it's not gonna work like that. You can't do that. Like,
Well, and did you see his brilliant press secretary like tried to snap back at Bezos and just completely whiffed? Like everything she said was just completely factually wrong.
Well, like we live in two worlds, I think, where like there is like, but she'll say something like that, but there's people that will take that and be like, oh, she just owned him. Look at all these like facts she just said, and it's like, no, like those aren't facts. That's actually
facts.
That was at least the nice thing with Psaki, was that like she was a bitch and she lied a bunch, but she also like kind of had her shit together. Like, this new chick, I can't even remember her name. The gay black chick. That's literally all you need to know about her. So anyway, like
that's why she got. I mean, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's why she got the job.
That's all that matters, right?
She's not even intelligent about it. Like Psaki was at least intelligent, and even if she said something, even if she didn't have a factual response to a question from a Fox News correspondent or somebody that was giving her pushback, she could at least be sharp and witty about the way that she replied. This chick can't even do that much. Like, she's just a total joke. It's embarrassing. Like it's not even funny. It's not even fun to watch. Like Psaki was at least entertaining. This is.
She had strong care and energy.
Yeah.
At least makes it entertaining. At least bitchy and forceful. It's more of a quality you want in that
at least
position.
pleasant to look at, right? I mean, you can, I think they all. Is that? I mean, I wonder if that's one of the qualifications for press secretary. Because I think you look back at the last few we've had, and none of them have been like, snaggletooth monsters. Like, they've all been fairly easy on the eyes.
I mean, I'm sure
Does
that
the way you're holding your phone make it look like you're recording children on a playground to onlookers?
Why you gotta blow my spot up like that, dude? Come on.
man,
I'm just
Clyde-
wondering.
if Clyde hadn't had the cops called on him yet, it's coming.
He's been filming them for almost an hour.
Cops, they did come creeping earlier, but I managed to avoid them. That's positive. The cop, not the kids. I'm at practice, and they're running hills. Okay, like I'm
Oh man, this salon. I'll send y'all this article, and maybe we can talk about it more in depth on Wednesday or something. They even go after Obama. This is pretty impressive. Like,
Oh, cool.
Do they offer a solution? Like, that's my
Yeah,
big question. Like,
yeah, are they saying we need to go more fash? But our version of fash.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to a point where they actually get to what their solution is. Most of this that I've read so far is just basically it's this salon writer hating on the Democrats for being basically useless. I love it.
Sweet.
I love it.
That's even better.
Well, speaking of
following part of the
Obama,
good
let's
direction.
hit us an outro for the day. See y'all on Wednesday.
Peace.
Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change. I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding.
Dick riding for tomorrow, dick riding for today, dick riding for the straight, dick riding for the gay, dick riding for America, dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick, just as long as it's Barack's, and now we're dick riding.